Hello and welcome to another episode of 7 Minutes of Precision. My name is Sharif, I'm your host, and today we're joined by a very special guest to us. And I'll say a little bit of the backstory, but before I do that, I will welcome our guest. Today we're joined by Schalk Jacobs, the owner and CEO of Axis Precision Worx, also known as APW. Schalk, welcome to the show. I'm honored to have you with me today.
Hi, Sheriff. Same here. Thanks for having us.
How's it going the other side of the world in South Africa?
Very good. We are blessed to be extremely busy at the moment. Yeah, like you always know, it's always a
Yeah.
backlog, and we're always pushing to try and get ahead. But yeah, we're very blessed this side.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to go a little bit into a tangent and explain how we ended up here today. So a few years ago, we started our business Precision Zone with APW. APW was the first company we import products for them. And I don't know if I said this story before or not, but they were looking for dealers. I emailed them, never got an answer. And then I said, I got nothing else to lose. I'll send them an email again. I send them an email again. And then they answered me. We explained that we didn't even have a company at the time, but we were interested to carry their stuff. And I think I'm going to take this opportunity to thank them and thank you especially because we didn't have a company. There was no proof. There was no record that says we're going to able to help your brand or be consistent in sales or anything like this. But they took a chance on us and they trusted us. And I'm so grateful and happy to be talking to you today and saying this story.
Yeah, thank you, Sheriff. And the same from us. Having partners all around the world, it's really. I really have to sit sometimes and pinch myself to say, listen, is this all real? And don't always know what we do to deserve it, but yeah, always have blessed to have partners like you guys representing our products, and yeah, means the world to us too.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to start by asking, actually, I don't know the answer of this question, when and how APW started. So go ahead, let me know, how did this all start?
Yeah, like how deep must I start? It basically began. I started shooting. Well, really uh, getting into the shooting thing in 2016. Um, I had an old local South African brand 243 rifle, normal rifle. My cousin took me to a range, and I shot out to 550 yards for the first time using the apps and stuff available at the time, and it suddenly became a massive uh, passion and a hobby. I really wanted to get into PRS shooting because that was really where my first love started for the shooting. And in that time, I bought a normal Savage rifle, off the shelf. I think it was a Model 12
Mm-hmm.
VLP. Bought a first MDT. Bought my first MDT chassis for it. Was still I think it was the ESS. That then, yeah, got me into buying my first a custom rifle, and it's something probably we'll get to. But for us to get good quality stuff from overseas does take quite a long time. And in that time, there wasn't there was all good muzzle brakes and what people thought were good. And I bought the 6.5 PRC on a Defiance action, and everyone said it's going to be too much recoil for PRS, which obviously it all went down to the 6 mils, which it was. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to try and make a better brake. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm actually a tool jig and die maker by trade.
Okay.
Um, and at the time, I had my first CNC lathe that we were doing other stuff in my steel construction company. And I thought, let me try and make my own brake. In that time, I think it was like 2018, around there, late 2018, I met Peter Malan from Impact Shooting, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we just started chatting about shooting, and told him I'm gonna make my first muzzle brake. And I also started making my own mandrels again through a good friend of mine, Johan Keen. He's a real top shot and probably one of my idols in the shooting community in South Africa. I learned so much from him. And he explained to me how the mandrels work, and because I was struggling with donuts on my 260, and couldn't
Hmm.
get the right sizes, and I thought, you know what, I've got my own lathes, I'll make my own. And in that meeting, Peter, he saw the first muzzle brake, and he was just, like, we need to sell this stuff and we have to start the company. And I was super hesitant in the beginning, and I was like, Pete, you know what, you can sell the stuff, you start the company, I'll just supply you. And he was very adamant at the time that we do this 50-50, um, with the agreement that he would do the marketing and I would do the
Hmm.
manufacturing. And yeah, that's where it all started, on with basically one muzzle brake. And he's a marketing genius, and it all just very quickly spiraled.
And what year did you start the company together?
Late 2018.
Late 2018. Okay, awesome.
Yes, yes. I think if my memory
And
serves me.
this actually takes me to one of my questions. Maybe not a lot of people know, but South Africa is really big in the shooting community. I
Yeah.
think especially in the PRS, NRL. So let us know a little bit how is it over there? Like how many people shoot? Is it something that is more common, less common, things like that?
Um, we actually have a discipline called veldskiet. It's like felt shooting, very
Hmm.
hunting oriented. That's huge over here. PRS has grown a lot. Back in the day when I started it in 2017, 2016, I mean, if we got 10 guys at a shoot, it was a lot. And today, I think
Mm.
the PRS community is an active membership of, I think, 250 plus. Yeah, so it's not nothing to what it's like in the US, but I think this is a very strong, healthy community. Um, with us growing the business, I haven't been shooting a lot the last 2 years, 3 years almost. And just I went to a match in January, and just the level has increased immensely. The guys are taking it serious, and it's all the world stuff happening. And I think some of our
Hmm.
shooters are doing so well over there, on a global stage. And yeah, so it's strong and healthy at this side.
Yeah, it's definitely with the business. You think that you're gonna have more time, but you end up having less time and less
Yeah,
shooting, of course. Which really what we all want to do at the end of the day, right?
yeah. And at the beginning, it was more a sideline thing to fund the shooting, and now it's become, I've got other business also, so it's really some days a real struggle to get to everything. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
we
for
blessed.
sure. And so you said you started with the muzzle brake and the mandrel. So I'm assuming
Mm,
that was your two main products. Now you have
yes,
many more products. You have chassis, carbon fiber, the Carbon X, and you have the new long action aluminum chassis. So
yeah.
how was your vision back then, and how did it shift over the years since 2018?
Well, like I said, I think the initial thing was just extra work for my machines, and just to fund the hobby basically. And yeah, it got to a point where it became a full on business that had to take all my attention. And yeah, and I think eventually the shift, well, the goal just became to just bring out innovative products. We I don't know if it might not look like it, but we never try and copy anything from anyone else. We always try and take what's available and see how we can improve on it. If it's an
Hmm.
improvement to some, maybe not, but we always try and innovate. Yeah, so I think that it basically shifted to just trying to put out the best products we can make. And yeah,
And how
like
how do you approach an idea, or how do you approach a new product, or decide that we want to go to this product?
um well, I explained the muzzle brake thing and the mandrel. From there it became, like, we all like nice things in our reloading rooms, and that's where I thought about doing the trays. And I think,
Hmm.
I must give credit to Area 49. I think they really spearheaded the nice CNC look of things, and always looked up to
Absolutely.
them immensely for what they've achieved. And yeah, that was basically. to put nice things in the guys' reloading rooms. And when we approach a product like, let's say, our Warbird suppressors, we've got a massive market in South Africa for suppressors.
Mm-hmm.
So there, our goal was we'd always try and see where's a gap in the market. And I think, usually suppressors have a much a recoil pulse that's a more of a push than a snap like a muzzle brake. And
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do something in a more compact, maybe larger diameter thing with more muzzle brakes. So it's slightly louder, but it performs a lot like a muzzle brake. And people actually shoot a lot of matches with our suppressors. And yeah, we had just brought out the new PRS version. It's 150 millimeters long with the muzzle brake, and
Hmm.
it takes away all the concussive blast of a muzzle brake, and it performs 90% as good. And that's been massive over here. Yeah,
Wow.
it's actually a pity we can't export it to you guys and the
Yeah,
US, but
it's. I was just gonna say it's really sad we cannot have any suppressors in Canada. So that's an area
yeah,
where I don't have any expertise. I don't know anything about it just because of the laws here in Canada.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. So our
you're
goal
not
basically, right?
sorry, you're not able to export those to the US as well.
No, no, not currently. We have a dealer in the US, and I think they are busy changing some laws in that on that side.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but that's still a long ways. But
Okay.
we export them to oh, New Zealand, New Caledonia. Yeah, so there are countries, Namibia across the border just next to us.
Hmm.
They order a lot of them. But like I said, in South Africa, there's a massive market for them. And that also led us to go more to hunting type silencers and silencers for 0.22s. Yeah, so we always try and see where's a gap in the market, and then we try and approach that as to not step on any toes and not to try and innovate and
Yeah.
get something out
No,
there
but
that's
like you're saying, right now we are like in the Apple era of reloading equipment and rifle gear and all this stuff. Like there's so much good looking stuff out there that it's more like how to make a good look, and obviously the function is always there, but also the looks is has become a very big thing
yes,
over time. So
yes, and I think
when you, sorry, go ahead.
oh yeah, I think the first goal for us always is to have it function well, and
For
then
sure.
the aesthetics come after that. Like I said, I was a tool maker, and my boss was a German. He was very very strict on quality, and there we work with microns, and we were always pushed to do the stuff as pretty and as good as possible. So I always believe in can do only good work in a clean workshop, and when things look good, when you open the box and stuff and they function well, it's always a win recipe.
Of course. How many CNCs did you guys start with, and how many CNCs do you have now? If you're comfortable to share that.
Yeah, when I met Pete in 2018, we just got our second lathe, and I had a old Bridgeport NC mill that it's only a two-axis, but a very old machine. Um, to give you an idea, the first muzzle brakes we made on that, it took me, I'm going to say, close to 2 to 3 hours to do the porting on one muzzle brake. Now it's literally minutes. Yeah, and then in 2019, we purchased a factory, our own building, and I bought a small CNC mill to try and get the work better on or quicker the muzzle brakes, because it grew to a point where, and I just wanted to see, is this it's not never an easy thing to do, is to purchase these machines. Like, well, they are quite expensive,
Of
and they want
course.
to be worked all the time. I don't like them standing. So yeah, and that was our third machine. Then I think in 2019 we purchased a much larger mill that could do multiple setups and increase productivity. About 2 years ago, just under 2 years ago, we bought our first 5-axis lathe that has a dual spindle with a Y-axis, and yeah, that's
Hmm.
opened a lot of doors. And then we recently purchased another robo drill, small, very fast machine for some of the smaller parts. So yeah, if you see the workshop, I don't think you'll comprehend how much work we push out there with the amount of machines that we have. But yeah,
I'm definitely one day planning to make the trip and come see the workshop and see
yeah,
how much you guys grew. It's really funny. Every few years, I get a message from you with a picture of a new CNC machine, and you're like, "Hey, we
yeah,
purchased this new machine. We're gonna get your products faster." And I'm like, "Yes,
yeah.
great."
Yeah, in some way
Okay.
we always find a way to make a new product, and then it just falls back to. But yeah, like I say, we're at the point now where if anything we bring out, the guys just jump onto it, and yeah, the support from the customers and the shooting community is just beyond grateful for that, because without people buying this stuff, it's all for
For
nothing.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's obviously a good problem to have. Let
Yeah.
me ask you real quick a little bit about the firearm laws in South Africa, because
Mm.
just comparing right now, we're not allowed suppressors. You guys are allowed suppressors. Just give us a little bit of an idea about the firearm laws with regards to handguns, rifles, and everything else.
Okay, yeah. So I think we have some of the strictest gun laws in the world. What do you say, to like to get a firearm, to get a license for it? Everything's licensed except suppressors and any attachments are not. There's no license required for that. But to
Okay.
get we do have different sections of licensing. You Let's start with the self defense one. There, you have to renew your license every 5 years. You have to be declared competent to own a firearm first. So you first do your competency. That takes a couple of months, for 3 to 6 months, let's say.
Is
Um,
that like a course that you have to follow and a test that you have to pass?
yeah, you have to do a couple of just basic firearm. Um, what do you
Safety.
put it? Just courses, yeah, how to function, firearm. You shoot a couple of shots and then you get a certificate. It's just like a open book test, but you kind of have to just be familiar
Mm-hmm.
with the firearm. Um, we have in that application, you always have a motivation that goes with that. You have to
Okay.
have supporting letters from your spouse, from friends, from people that know you, to make sure you obviously sane of mind and everything is all there. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and then you get dedicated hunter and sports shooting that allows you to own as many firearms. Like you can actually have two or three of the same caliber, and unlimited rounds for those firearms. Um,
And do these
yeah,
firearms have to be registered by serial number, or once you have a
yes, yes.
license, you can just get as much? Okay, so
No,
each one is
every
registered to your name.
every single one you have to register, and you get a card for each one.
Okay.
And everyone takes three to 6 months for the license to get approved. So it's a big day when we receive a rifle in South Africa. The because you wait and you hype, and most people, they already bought their chassis and the goods for the rifle. So you
They're
kind
just
of sit
waiting
and
for that
hope and
license.
wait. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And then what is there else? Obviously renewals. You go through the same process every time you have to renew. To change a barrel also takes. You have to uh, get a gunsmith's report that your old barrel's been shot out.
Oh,
There's quite a process for that. Also, the new barrel has to then get a caliber assigned to it, and then that has to get married to your old rifle, and so that's a 6 month to a year process. I must say that the last year it's been getting better. The
okay.
waiting times and stuff. So yeah, that's
But do
quite a
they
hindrance.
put like some sort of a serial number on the barrel, or
It's barrels
it
and
has?
actions. It has to have
Okay,
a
so in order to sell a barrel in South Africa, you need to have a serial number on it.
Yeah. So anyone who
Okay.
imports it has to uh, it has to be a gun shop, number one, someone with a trades license, and
Hmm.
that is, each barrel has to have a serial number on it. A lot of rifles that you buy, like Sakus and Tikas, they'll have just a serial number on the action. So yeah,
Hmm.
it still gets, but like on our last batch of rifles we got from the US custom builds, the our police actually made the importer put a serial number on the barrel and the actions. So they're
Oh,
very strict on that. Yeah.
okay. And can you buy an action alone, or that is, or like that has
Also
to go
license
through a
plate.
gunsmith first?
Mm. You could buy it, but it'll stay on the gunsmith's book until you've or you can get you can get a card for it. You can get a license for the action, but you can't do anything with it because a
Got it.
gunsmith has to assemble the rifle and it has to be married
And
to a barrel with a caliber, and then it becomes a rifle. Yeah.
as far as I understand, in South Africa, you can carry for self defense. Is that correct?
Yes, concealed carry as far as I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in case you do have to use it, is it? I guess it's much more complicated after if you have to use it and go to court and things like that.
Yeah. I always say that it's the carrying a firearm is like you always pray you have it when you need it, but when you need it, you pray you don't have to use it because I think the aftermath, it with I think gun ownership in the around the world, there's a lot of people that don't want people to have guns. So
Yeah.
any event where a licensed person, I'm just calling myself a licensed person, if I had to shoot someone, it'll go into the news quickly, but it's daily crime in South Africa with unlicensed firearms and stuff, and you don't, you'll read a bit here and there, but it's not closely as big as a thing as if a licensed person would have had to use his firearm for good or
Mm.
bad. It hits the news quite big when that happens.
Mm. Well, I hope you never have to use any of your firearms for self
Yeah,
defense, and
I carry knives
hopefully,
and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, awesome.
I've also
Schalk,
I don't shoot pistol a lot. It's one thing that I really want to start doing more. It's
yeah,
always also say if you're not competent with the firearm, rather don't carry it. Then yeah,
for sure.
you can
Definitely,
easily
also that the trip going to the range with a pistol is way lighter than going with a rifle and all your gear
yeah
and sandbag and
yeah
your chronograph and all these stuff.
all the stuff. I actually took the point two to a range today. And I carried all the bags and stuff. It's
Yeah,
difficult for
no,
one person to carry everything for one rifle.
it gets heavy, especially like sometimes I do fly in Canada to go shoot a match. It's
Hmm.
just so much stuff, and you have to go through like the airport and all the laws and things like that. And
Yeah.
in Canada, we're not really, well, I guess it depends where you are in Canada, but the community here is not really firearm oriented, so people don't see that as much as in the US,
Yes.
for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we also I have to travel a lot for the PRS matches and stuff, and I understand fully. So we have to book the firearm into a different place, and you have to wait for it afterwards, and you always have this massive heavy gun case with you. And I've actually hired cars,
Yeah.
and then the thing doesn't fit into the boot, into the trunk of the vehicle. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a mission.
Awesome. Scott, thank you so much for taking the time doing this podcast. Again, I want to thank you for the business, opportunity, the time we have been working together. You have always been great to us. And I'm going to say this right now. We have been good in customer service because of companies like you. When we have an issue, we don't question if we should replace it or not. We just go ahead, fix the problem, and you know that you got our back. So I'll take this opportunity and thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you so much from our side also, Sheriff. You guys, yeah, your customer service is brilliant, and you also help me improve everything all the time. Yeah, we're always striving to be better each day, one day at a time.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Thanks, Sheriff.